Here we are, and welcome to another episode of the Friday Night Movie Podcast. Today, with us, we have the incredibly funny and talented Anna Roisman, who has a show in New York City at Joe's Pub on August 15th called Impressionista. And that's because she's an incredible impressionist, but also just a brilliant and funny person that everyone should follow on Instagram. And so, like, if you just started this episode and you want to catch up, first, go follow Anna. And we're going to talk about all the funny things that she does. Anna, welcome to the Friday Night Movie family.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. And I love the idea that no one's listening right now because they're all going to follow me right now on social.
Yeah,
everybody.
everybody's.
We have to be very careful what we ask people to do on this podcast. You never know. You have to take that responsibility. I mean, you're a podcast host too.
Yeah.
You develop a relationship with people.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm actually going to turn the episode over to Lily. Lily is such a big fan of yours and had such an awesome opportunity to meet you in New York that I'm gonna pass the hosting duties over to Lily, who's going to take us through getting to know you. But I'll be back.
My
Lily?
favorite thing to do, talk about myself. I love it. Great.
We'll make you talk about us too.
I can't wait. Yeah. Already, I mean, you're cast in my, you have a voice. You're cast in my next animated project. So, yeah.
Lily, take it away.
Okay, so Anna, you are a comedian, writer, actress, content creator, and host.
She's reading the bio, guys. Hold your horses for 20 minutes.
Lily's very organized. I wing it.
You have the Big Wigs podcast with Andrea, yeah.
Who's also hilarious, Andrea Lopez.
So Andrea Lopez. So because you call her Dre, so I'm like always then not sure how to pronounce the full name.
The other day I called her Dr. Dre and I laughed for 20 minutes and she's like, "You don't think I've ever gotten that before?" And I was like, I never discovered it. It's really new for me. It was really fun.
I don't know if I'm close enough with her yet to call her Dre. So but hilarious. She's incredible. And you guys have gotten millions of views. I mean, in general, but also for your Chris and Courtney, which is how I discovered you. And my sister-in-law, I know, Shai's wife, Allie, huge fan.
We did on our walk this morning, walking the dog, because I've absorbed a lot about Kardashians, but I've barely ever seen a minute of them. I know a few
Courtney's
things.
Your favorite.
Shai, you're missing out.
I am, well, and I'm an unabashed Courtney fan. It drives people crazy because I get in these conversations about pop culture and I'm like, Team Courtney all the way. And they're like, what do you know about Courtney? I'm like, all I know is that she likes Jewish guys and drummers. I'm both. I have a chance. That is.
She's my boyfriend's favorite too. He loves Courtney. If he had to pick, I think that's like a lot of guys. Like she's more real. Like she didn't buy into all the
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know this about her. So when we went on our walk this morning, I just had my wife watch the clips with me and explain to me all the Chris and Courtney's. I mean, it's hilarious.
I love
But I just thought it was like hilarious because it reminded me of my sisters talking to my mom.
That is
Congrats,
also fair.
guys. You guys are like Kardashians now. That's an honor.
I mean, I know even less about the Kardashians than my brother, if I'm honest. And so when I see your impression, and I would say this is actually true of all of your impressions, why I find them so hilarious is because they're very real. Like it's not some over the top exaggeration. It like takes a few seconds to be like, wait, I'm confused. Wait a minute. This isn't a real.
It's true.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to hear.
Especially someone who's not super familiar with the Kardashians, like I'm familiar enough. I see your impressions and I'm like, oh, this isn't, oh, wait. And then I think it's real. And specifically, we'll pivot back to Kardashians. But while I have the floor, your bit about the woman coming home from
Okay, we're not there yet.
No, oh my God.
There's an outline. There's an outline.
Follow the outline, Becky.
We'll get there, Becky. We'll get there.
I'll just say
Fine.
we love that you did an entire series of impressions of Becky without even knowing her.
We really appreciated you giving us.
Also, I love that you both, it was very obvious Becky's the youngest when you both were like, not now, Becky.
Not now, Becky.
You want
Beat her down.
Was it also obvious that she didn't read the outline or follow it?
I read it. I don't care about it.
Right.
I just
That also
I'm a wild
that
I'm a
she's the
wild
youngest.
card.
Okay, so
They also never let me talk.
you talk.
Sorry.
You'll talk a lot.
Becky's gonna have her own hit single soon. You guys watch out. She's leaving the band.
She loves this band. She might threaten. So how did you figure out who to impersonate? Because they're very well, they somewhat maybe like there's a reality show theme throughout a lot of your stuff, but there's also Steve and Joan Rivers. And so like I'm just curious where they come from. Like how did you find them or where did your character, because now I feel like these are your characters. I expect to see these videos.
Thank you. Yes. And some people expect certain characters more than others. And it's very funny because it's like no matter what I try that's new, they're like, no, be Hilaria. And I'm like, right. I can't do that only. It's funny. I started doing impressions like probably like 15, 20 years ago. Honestly, I loved doing them. I grew up watching SNL and everything. And it wasn't like I moved to New York to be on SNL. Like I didn't think that was something I would do in my life. I wanted to be on Broadway. And so when I started doing impressions,
you do have a great voice. You're Leah Michelle.
Well, yeah, she was like one of the first when I started doing it back in the like Spring Awakening days. When I started, there's this really old reel that I made like 1,000 years ago. And I did Sarah Silverman. I did Leah Michelle. I did Kourtney Kardashian. I did people like if someone was like, who you look like, when you get like a celebrity. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I could do that person. Because if they think I look like them, I could probably, imitate them or do their impression or whatever. So that was kind of how I started. It was like who I looked like. And I always got Sarah Silverman. So I like worked on her. I would just watch a billion videos and do her. I will say now, like that I've done these forever, it's harder to do a comedian because they're already funny. So it's harder to write like jokes as a comedian, as an impersonating a comedian. Like, I don't know. It's fun, but it's like, I still think she's the funniest. So like, no matter what I do, I'm like, whatever, this isn't as good, even though you could do the voice. It's like, you can do it for like 30 seconds and people are like, we got it. And then I feel like I didn't do impressions for a long time. I started stand up, I was acting, whatever. And then in the pandemic, I kind of found TikTok and was like, oh my God, I could just like put dumb stuff on TikTok. I'm going to just put wigs on and like do like, I didn't like make a plan really. I think one of the first ones I did was Hilaria because people said they thought I looked like her. And I did an 11-second video in my pajamas, no makeup, nothing like, and it went super viral. And the LA Times called me a TikToker. I was like, oh my God, I joined last week and they're calling me a TikToker. Like this is major. Like and then I leaned into that because I was like, well, they say once you find your niche, and I'm like, my niche of being this like fake person. And then the Steve thing was pretty random. I feel like now I choose deep cuts. Do you know what I mean? Like now I choose not the obvious Kardashian.
Right. Like you're not
or
for dudes who would be like, you're not doing the Christopher Walken and Al Pacino.
Yeah.
Jack
there's
Nicholson.
So many of them. Like I could do Jennifer Coolidge in a heart. If you needed me to do Jennifer Coolidge tomorrow, absolutely. But like, I know so many people who do Jennifer Coolidge that I don't need to make a whole video as her, like everyone can do the voice. Like it's fun, but I just felt like, I don't know. And so with Steve,
I don't think everyone, but sure. I understand.
I don't know. I bet everyone has a Jennifer Coolidge inside of them if they try. If they could dig deep, you have one. I know you do. I wanted to do that on July 4th. I wanted to walk around the party I was at and have everyone say like, I want a hot dog real bad. But it didn't happen. It was just a dream I had, a video, maybe next year. But with Steve, we were locked down in the pandemic. I'm obsessed with Sex and the City. True story. I mean, like true fact about me. I watch it every single night to fall asleep. For 8 years. The fact that my boyfriend hasn't left yet is a wonder because
I've been with my wife for 19 years and she does almost the same thing.
Sex in the City every night.
Not every. I mean, she alternates, but it is often
There's a
Sex
lot
in the
of
City.
Sex in the City.
A lot of Sex
Yeah.
in the City in our
We have a
house.
hierarchy because I used to like it on E. I liked watching it on E with the commercials. Don't ask why, but I just liked that. I liked that it was always on. And if it wasn't on, I'd watch South Park. And if South Park wasn't on, I'd watch Botched. Anyway, that's my order of shows. Three very random.
That's an amazing order.
Thank you. So I would do the Steve voice around our apartment when we were like in lockdown, and my boyfriend would laugh. And I'm like, oh my God, he hasn't laughed at me in like 8 years. Like he, the bits are old. Like he's seen my shows 100 times, but he would laugh so hard. And then I was like, can I borrow an outfit? I picked out like a Steve outfit, and he had a basketball, and I just like shot something random, and he was laughing so hard. And I was like, this must be funny if Jared likes it. Like literally that was my test. Or we were just so crazy from being, stuck at home. So I don't know. And then I just I don't know. I like picking like the random one. I have one that's coming out, an impression that I shot months ago. I'm redoing her, but it's a rando one that I've been threatening on my podcast. I've been talking about her, how I'm going to do this impression. I haven't put it out yet.
Can you like reveal?
Yeah, sure. I want to do Barbara Corcoran. Like she is my favorite, and her TikToks and her podcasts and everything she does is so funny to me.
Well,
Do you guys know her?
I don't know.
They
that.
all stared at me. You do know Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. She's the,
Oh, yes. Okay. All right.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the
I know
judge.
Shark Tank because in the summer when I go to the beach with my in-laws, they leave the TV on all the time, but no one watches TV. Which is like for me like a crime because I'm like, no, there's TV's amazing. We should be watching TV.
It's like you're on a safari and no one's watching the animals.
Exactly. And
Well
so
said.
it's just and even if it's something I don't want to watch, I'm like, wait, the TV's on. Let's watch it and talk about it. So there's
It gets so
just
lonely.
noise
It's on
for
all by
that.
itself.
it's just a constant flow of NCIS, Shark Tank, and golf.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
a good mix. I don't watch any of those, but I would watch if they were on.
I just watch TV because it's on,
Yeah.
but nobody else is watching it. It's just there. It makes everyone feel comfortable.
But I think that's like like a very, like what Becky was saying, a very specific thing about your impressions. And I know specifically with Hilaria, I'm not sure she loves it as much as we all do.
No.
At all. But
Other celebrities like mine, but she doesn't.
She does not. But I think like the part of the issue is taking oneself too seriously. And then if you are I think it's an honor to have someone do an impression of you. I think in that specific case, you're tapping into the absurdity of a lot of things.
Absolutely. I always try and say when I do an impression, I'm like, if I'm the celebrity in this situation, would I laugh at this? Or like, would this hurt my feelings? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be the test because I'm a comedian and I'm like, no, it's funny, but I try not to be mean.
I think that there's a lot of truth in your impressions, which makes them
Right.
really.
We say in our family,
Really
That's
fun
what
to
I'm
watch.
saying. It feels like you're
fun of
honoring
econ-
that.
we
You're paying
make.
homage.
I always tell people, and when I had real jobs before, my only people I went to work with were these two. I always used to tell my staff, I'm like, if you can make fun of me in just the right way, it's the highest form of love.
It's
like,
loving.
if you can-
do it. Yeah.
Lovely.
I think, of the
That's
ones I've
why
seen,
we
I've
make
seen
fun of our
many
mom the
them.
most because she's the best.
Yeah. But none of them seemed to me mean-spirited. They all
Thank you.
came across as, doing your homage to
Thank you.
each
Yeah,
of
they're
these
like
characters.
caricatures of them. They're not even them.
Yes.
They're like
And
heightened.
calling out, I think, and calling out the absurdities, because when you guys do Chris and Courtney, fine, you're doing a great impression, but that I can see where you're like, okay, yeah, you've seen me do Chris a ton of times. What you guys talk about as them takes it to another level, because
I
then
actually,
you're full on conversation.
I find those hilarious,
the
but
best. You
You
also
embody the character.
very
Yeah.
relaxing. Like I don't do ASMR, but I'll listen to certain. Like maybe I'm gonna start listening to that before I
Wait,
go
that's
to
a
bed.
video we've wanted to do forever. Is Chris and Court do ASMR?
Oh my
Because it
God.
was. I just.
See,
Well,
this
first
is the
of all,
public ones.
and kudos to Dr. Dre. I heard her talking, and I was like, oh, is this why people talk this way? Because Courtney Kardashian talks this way.
They started a trend of how, they talk in a very specific way.
But I've met a lot of people who talk like that, and I just that
For
was
sure it
amazing to
comes
me.
from them.
But I
It
found it
comes from
very relaxing, just the back and forth and the Oh
No,
yeah.
she has like no emotion. I will say, Andrea's so good at the voice. Like you can close your eyes and you're like, is that Kourtney Kardashian?
Is it her? For sure.
I don't think I'm good at Chris's voice. I just nailed her laugh. I always like
My
it's
wife was
gotten
like
better
that.
over time.
My wife was like, that laugh is incredible.
The laugh
Thank
is
you.
pretty epic, but it's also, I mean, it's not necessarily, maybe it's not necessarily the voice, which I think you do great. I think it's what you say. Like when you flew commercial
Thank you.
and when you
Wow.
go
Yeah.
into the real world as Chris, and when you guys went to the bar together, like you guys went out clubbing, you and
We
Kourtney.
did, yeah. We
Like
went out one night.
when you start interacting with people as Chris and imagining what Chris would say, that is really, really funny.
It's funny because once I put the wig on, I feel like I can do her. Like I don't break. Do you know what I mean? Once the costume's on, I can go in public, I can do anything. I was gonna only do that in the airport, like until we got on the plane when I flew as Chris. Mind you, my boyfriend, like he's a good sport, but he wanted to kill me at first because I was like, I got ready in the morning. I was like, it's like, what are you wearing to fly? And I was like, no. I was like, we're gonna do this. This will be so fun. And
Oh, I love it. Commit to the bit.
and then once we were at the airport, we got the shots or whatever, and he was like, well, we should probably get it like on the plane. And it was annoying at the time to like take the wig off and put it back on. So I just like I flew the whole time. Until we got to baggage claim in LA, I was in Chris like the whole time. And it was like it was fun for me. No one looked twice.
Well, I do also this. Since you brought up Jared, I have a note in my notes that says Jared is such a good sport, but also seems to love it. I feel like
and hate it,
But
I mean, imagine getting
so
on a
great.
plane and you have to film your girlfriend dressed in a wig, and I'm like, "Can I get another Bloody Mary?" And he's like, "Oh my god," because I'll do it. Like I will just. I have no problem
You
doing it.
commit, and that's. I mean,
But
He also hates
feel
when
like-
I break, though. If I start laughing and I can't stop laughing, like he hates that. He's like, Anna, I have a life. We have to do this. You asked me to film this, and now you're not participating. You're not doing a good job.
I feel like our spouses would identify with Jared. Like the number of times we stop vacation to be like, we have to record an episode, or we got to record a bit, or we got to take a whatever picture. Or
I mean, the amount of wigs I take on vacations, and he like, we did Hilaria in I did her on the Spanish Steps in Rome because I was like, this is perfect. It's the Spanish Steps. Like, who cares what country we're in? And he was like, we really like you're gonna do? We're gonna shoot today, and I was like, yep.
I love that. And it says a lot about him, and it says a lot about you.
Thank you.
And so, okay, so what is your favorite, or who is your favorite impressionist, or your favorite impression? Like, what do you look at and are like, that's
like
my
favorite
to watch? Or have
Okay.
it doesn't have to be something you watch regularly. I just
Yeah.
like I want my best impression to be as good as that impression. Or
I
maybe
mean,
it's
one
just-
that is like, that sets a high bar for you.
I mean, I grew up with like the Anna Gasteyers and the, Amy Poehler's and the Molly Shannon, like the Maya Rudolph. I think of Anna Gasteyer as like a brilliant, like her and Martha Stewart, like back then.
Yeah.
And I did Martha in a video, and someone's like, "You're Martha's Anna Gasteyer," like doing Martha, I'll take it. Yeah, I thought she was like they were another level for me. I mean, Kate McKinnon also, like I love all of them. Kyle Dunnigan is one of my favorite. I don't know if you guys know Kyle Dunnigan. He was doing something in the pandemic that made me laugh so hard because he was using like the AI like filters or whatever. He's a very funny comedian, but he can do any voice. Like he's so good at voices, and you've probably seen him. And he's like he does these characters sometimes on stage, but he also is a stand-up. And he was doing Alec Baldwin, and people were like tagging me to do videos with, and he's got a huge following. And it's probably wrong, but when he did Michael Jackson, from Heaven, it was maybe I used to host a game show for 4 years, and I hate to say this, but we would watch this one video every single night while we were in like the makeup chair before the show. And it's so wrong. I should be canceled for watching it. I think it's on his YouTube. I don't know if it's even on his social media anymore. Like
I think it's on his Instagram.
It's his Michael
it-
Jackson video is one of the funniest things. It's so wrong on every level. It was after the documentary came out with the allegation, like with the grown-ups
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I haven't seen this, but it's
We know
still
the
okay to laugh at things. So there's this TV show that
terrible.
there's this TV show that I saw. It's from 2015. I was just checking the dates, called Impress Me.
Uh-huh.
And it's with the actor Jim Meskimen and Ross Marquand are the main characters.
Okay.
And it's all about impressionists in LA. Like it's just about the subculture of,
I
is
love
there a
that.
real subculture of people? So like one of the bits is that Ross Marquand's character ends up becoming the go-to impressionist for Justin Timberlake and gets hired by Justin Timberlake to do all of his meetings that he doesn't want to do over the
That's
phone.
great. I love that.
But I was curious if you were aware of that, and if it's true that there are like parties where all the impressionists hang out and like, you know, do impressions and like, you know, try to, you know, outdo each other in different
Yeah.
characters.
No, I've never done anything like that. I've never really considered myself like an impressionist. So
okay.
I don't know. I don't like find the others and hang out with them. There was a wave of like content creators in the pandemic who were doing comedy, who were doing characters or impressions or whatever. And I've made friends online through that, but like I've never like, I don't know. I got hired as Joan Rivers for a party once, which was really fun.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Like a private event, and they were like, "Can you do like a set as Joan?" Which it was very fun. It was very hard. It was a very hard job because it was like a big party with like a band, you know, and then like to put comedy up is like a totally different like level of energy. But it was fun. I got to just like roast a bunch of people, but and she's probably my favorite to do. I was gonna say when you asked me who's
Oh.
your favorite impression to do.
Ah.
Because it's funny, when we do Chris and Courtney, we don't write a single thing. That is all improv, and we'll improv for 10 minutes, and then we'll cut the best stuff that we can find. We are sitting on so much Chris and Court. We've done them a lot recently and have cut nothing. But that's my own fault. But for Joan, I write every single joke that I do as Joan. I don't like that, which is
You
a
don't wing it.
challenge. I don't wing it for Joan because she's so sharp and I'm not, that I can't. I mean, yes, if I was like doing a podcast as Joan, I could figure it out. But like when I do those videos as her, like I write every joke and I have like, the bin of like the jokes that didn't work. Like, and I'll just do it for the event I'm like making a video for. I always do Joan for like award shows, or the Met Gala or any
Right.
The Met
red-
Gala one is very
Right.
funny.
Thank you. Any
The
like
Met-
red carpety event.
Wait,
The Met
But
Gala
again-
one where you went through the outfits.
Joan
Yeah.
Rivers
Very
is
funny.
such an easy one for people to overdo, it's like where it's too much the impression because
Yeah.
that's part of them doing it. But yours, it's just right at that threshold where you have a minute, you have a second where you're like, wait a minute, wait, that's not her? Oh,
Thank
and
you.
it works so well, works so much better, I think, because of that. So
Thank you.
love
She
having-
opens my show. She's my opener for my
Oh,
show.
is she?
So
Oh,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
That's
she's
really
fun
fun.
to do. I will say I never thought this would happen, but like when I did Joan, I just did the voice one day and I can do raspy voices like Steve and Joan, whatever. And I put her out there. She doesn't do that well on TikTok. Like not Joan, just my videos as
Right.
Joan don't do that well
Yeah.
on TikTok. But I've become friends with Melissa because of my Joan.
Because of this.
Oh,
That's
Which-
amazing. I was
But you
going to
see,
ask.
like that's, like Becky was saying, like people should see it as like people giving love for that person.
Oh yeah.
So
And she
much.
was so sweet about it. Like first she like hit me up and she was like, I love it. She's like, the wig is perfect, whatever. And then we started talking. And then when I was living in LA last year, we had dinner and we had a mutual friend. And so we went out, we had like a 4-hour dinner. She told me all these stories about her mom and like, it was amazing. And she's so funny, Melissa. I mean, like, it's a no-brainer. They were the duo that we watched forever on TV. And Melissa's just like, She's amazing. And like literally I saw her, we send each other like stupid videos all day long, like and memes and stuff. She's like that type of friend, you know, where we send each other shit.
That's amazing.
I love her. And she was like, do you know how many she told me this and I'll never, I mean, I was like, you're telling me this? She's like, do you know how many bad, like mostly like drag impressions I've seen over the years of my mom where they're like, you know, it's like a cigarette smoking, like it's very Joan Rivers. She's like, but you really like get her essence. And that's what I like about it. And I was like, oh my God. And
exactly.
that's it.
You do.
This is reminding me how much I miss. Like, I don't know. Like, I obviously didn't know her personally. I'm not friends with Melissa, but I think Joan Rivers, like, I remember her in Spaceballs and as the voice of Dot Matrix. And she was just this awesome, funny Jewish lady that, you know, before she was the E lady. When she died, man, I still feel a hole in my heart that there's no Joan Rivers.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like we had a mom out there protecting us with comedy. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. And she was unapologetically herself. You know, she never tried to be anybody else or cater to anybody else. And I loved that about her. It's funny because it's crazy to think, but it's in September will be 10 years since Joan passed. And I know. And I just went with Melissa. She was in town, and she was like, come with me to Kelly Clarkson. And I was like, okay. And as like her hype girl. And I went with her like a couple weeks ago. She did Kelly Clarkson and she was like kind of talking about how they're going to do some sort of like special in September that she's producing about Joan after the 10-year anniversary of her death. And I was like, it was cool to go. I mean, I didn't get to go into the actual taping. I was in the green room, but you know, it was an honor to be there. I was like, wait, I don't get to go on the floor and like meet Kelly. And they were like, the producer's like, there's really not that much room. And so like I sat with her publicist and I was like, fine. I only recorded a moment like this the night she won. Like, I'm not a huge super fan of Kelly Clarkson.
Well, like
anyway,
that's pretty cool though, how that impressed. Thank you for sharing that, because I don't know if people realize how an impression like that got to the heart of someone who obviously is the daughter of the person.
it's the coolest thing ever.
Everyone means so much, but to her, it's her mom. Like, that's very, very special. And I wish that, you know, I hope no one else ever blocks you or doesn't appreciate your humor, because I think it's silly.
Only Alec Baldwin.
Only Alec Baldwin.
He blocked me on Twitter, if you can believe. Yeah.
Well, that says more about Alec than it does about you. So,
thank you. Yeah. People look at me and they're like, wow, that's amazing. And I'm like, you got blocked.
But you also have another skill. And the best way that I can describe it is that I feel like you have the ability to take things that are very popular, but also very ridiculous, and hone in on them. And then it's not so much it's kind of an impression of those things, or a bit, or whatever, however you want to describe it. And two of my favorites are the boards that you do.
Which, by the way, I couldn't look at because boards make me so nauseous. And Lily put it in her notes. She was like, "This is for Becky."
This is for Becky.
I couldn't click on it because I gag when I see boards.
Becky's the chef, and as much as Becky can be a little snooty about cooking stuff, she also appreciates when like fads and things get too out of hand. Like there's like things that like, you know, jump the shark and the food board jumped the shark, and so that was amazing. And the other one, which I know Becky's desperate to talk about, is friends that come back from European vacation. It's such a specific thing that you honed in on.
Thank you.
And the montage of very specific things that people will say when they get back.
And now, is it you who does this, so you have to make fun of yourself, or is it you observing people around you?
I'm going to go with both. I'm going to go with a little of both. I'm definitely guilty of it. You know, I got home and I was like, we're making limoncello spritzes because we're so cultured now. Like, I don't know. But I also think it's so funny. Like when people, you know, they post on their trip and then they come home and they're like, oh, I'm changed. I'm different. You know, like people
what was it, 2 years ago? everybody, or last year, everybody went to Italy and only
Everyone.
drinks Aperol,
Aperol.
and only drinks Aperol spritzes now.
I had never heard of that drink in my life.
Really?
And then I was in a American Airlines lounge. So not even like a Delta Praetorian lounge, like a regular person lounge.
A regular American.
Just
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
regular-
and all of this wasn't the Emirates, and all of the sweaty people were, I'll have an Aperol Spritz. Ooh, I'll have an Aperol Spritz.
The
So it
best.
really permeated, and I had no idea where it came from. I love the way you edit these, and I don't know,
Thank
you must be, are you cutting these, like you're really cutting these, because there was one with you coming back from France that cuts to you riding a freaking bicycle.
A bicycle. You're like, I
The
only ride my
bicycle.
bicycle now. Oh my God,
Thank
these
you.
words remind me of
And
the
the
Côte d'Azur.
I shot that one in Old City. Could you tell?
the timing is so
But
good.
Hold
and
on. When you say croissants don't count as carbs, but I'm like, when I'm here in Spain, I literally eat a croissant every morning for breakfast, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not the same thing because I'm going out for one.
I
I'm having it with my coffee.
like I said
Every
before,
day I have one.
love your impression of Becky, and you
Yeah,
didn't even know her.
This is what we were saying.
Except I don't drink Aperol.
Becky, we were manifesting this moment of meeting. I was
Yes.
just summoning you through my stupid video.
But it's also specifically when there's the one back from Italy. It's everybody needs to watch this right now. When you're holding the box
Stop
of
the podcast.
of
so loud.
podcast, you're holding the box of pasta, and you're like, should we make a bungalow?
Yeah,
So
because
now it's just
I
us
learned
doing.
the 6 types of pasta
That's
that
us
you
What-
doing Anna
what is-
to Anna.
Is
But I
this?
just- it's
is this-
the best thing. I'm laughing so hard because like
We
last-
all know that
because
person, and we
it
all are
all
sometimes that
happened.
person.
Like I remember the first time my husband and I traveled together to Spain to visit Lily.
Oh my God, I'm
When
crying.
we came home, he would just like the only thing he made for the next 6 months was like a Spanish tortilla. It was like the only fucking thing we ate.
I'm not gonna lie. When I went to Barcelona, I came home and I was like, you can just mash a tomato on bread. And that's like the meal. That's like the appetizer of the world. Like
By the way, Lily's
And
pan Catalan is weirdly
It
the
is-
best I've ever
it
had
is
in my
good.
life.
But
Lily's is
also,
amazing.
Becky and I were talking about this.
So wait, are you just gonna do Anna's
No,
bits
no,
back to
no.
her now?
this is so fun. I love
We
it.
had to have like
I gotta do a Spain one. Now that you said that, I
you
should
have to do a
one.
Spain one because we
Yes.
had a come
Oh my
to
God,
Jesus
please.
moment together where
Oh my
we
God,
were
if we
like,
could do a Spain one. I would love that.
we were like,
so
he was like,
much.
let's learn. This was like 2 years ago after our trip here. He was like, let's learn 3 years ago. He's like, let's learn to make paella. And I was like, no, hard stop. We will not become the paella people. We will not be those people that are like, you have to come over. We learn to make the best paella in Spain. I was
Yeah.
like, we will not learn to make it. We will
No.
not cook it for
That's a
anyone.
hard line. That's
because
a
that
love
gets
that.
passed down by
Don't be those
generations.
people.
Because there's
Yeah.
so many paella people.
And like
out there.
save some fun for when you go back, right? Or like
Yeah.
when you go out to dinner and you're going to a Spanish restaurant that does it really well.
Oh my God. And so, okay, so we thought of a game to play with
Yeah,
because we
this-
have all different kinds of games, but this is a new
Oh,
one.
great.
We have signature Friday night movie games, but this one's a new
We
one.
made up special ones for you. I
I
actually
love
have a
it.
sneak attack one that I came up with.
Great, great. Okay, so we'll start with the first one though, where we are going to each pitch us as European vacation travel companions that you would go on a trip with, and you have to pick which one you want to go with.
Well, wait, she should play Byron May.
Sure. Okay, explain. You can explain.
Okay, so our signature game of the show is Buy Rent May. The highest thing is like it's based on VHSs, which we more and more have to explain.
Okay.
Buy one if you
Young
really
people.
wanted to watch it all the time. Not
Sure.
even tape it off. Rent it if you were like, oh, I'll check it out, or I'll rent. And then meh can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be solely negative, but it's the lowest.
Byron,
And
meh.
So
Okay.
you should, I think you should assign each of us one of those things.
I
in
have to
this.
pick my favorite siblings right now.
who you'd want
We
to
play that with each other all the time. Who you'd want to travel with, but we're going to pitch ourselves.
Okay.
We
great.
love this. You believe me. And by the way, I know I'm going to be the meh, so you
No,
don't
it's
even
so
have to.
funny because I feel like, Shai, depending on what stage of the travel, like, are you getting to and from places? Are
Okay.
you like enjoying a city? Like, you're my buy for certain areas, Shai, and you're definitely my meh for others. So I feel like
Oh,
you really do
interesting.
have your strengths.
Oh, thanks,
You have
Beck.
the drinks, but you also have.
If you need to find a movie theater in Lisbon, you should call.
Do I get included too? Am I going to be a buy rent, Matt?
I
No,
mean,
we obviously we would buy you. We would
Oh,
want to.
okay.
I
Like,
just want to go on vacation.
They're
Definitely.
investing.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm
great.
wondering if you
Yeah.
can you fly out to Spain this summer while I'm here?
I'm going to
You can help-
Spain.
direct flight
You
from
are?
Newark, by the
Yeah.
way, to
In
Lily's Island.
2.5 weeks.
You can
She's going to
fly
Spain in 2.5
direct to
weeks.
Lily's
what part of
Island.
Spain?
We're going to Barcelona for like
Oh,
4
fun.
days.
That's
Oh,
Lily's
fun.
town.
My town. That's reminds me.
I mean, you're gonna.
I used to live there. It's the best. Have you
It's a
been there?
big summer for Hilaria. I have been to Barcelona.
But I also feel like to really understand to get to that essence of what your Spanish returning from vacation video should be, you should come to a small city or a small town where siesta really matters to these people.
Okay.
And it's like
You're
like,
invited anytime.
I mean,
Nothing
Becky
but-
seems like the youngest in the back on this, but you have to understand, like in our actual business, Becky
she's the boss.
is the
Becky's
boss.
the boss.
And I would say Becky and I in particular work like Americans, and so siesta makes us crazy.
Yeah. No.
Drives
And
me
and
crazy.
You're always
And-
trying to have meetings, and Lily's like, I'm sorry. It's
I'm napping.
siesta
She's
time."
like, I'm in
Lily's
my
like,
jammies.
I need my 8 hours.
I do my
need
9 hours at night and
I
my
do need
3-hour
9
nap in the day.
it is a very different culture. I will say that. But somehow, after 18 years of living here, I don't have an accent. I can speak like an American as opposed
Yeah.
to I must
Should-
speak with a. I don't have to speak
should-
with a Spanish accent.
Thank God. Yeah.
So-
It's amazing.
Let's pitch ourselves as travel companions. Lily, you want to
Okay.
start? Lily, I feel like you should start.
Okay, I didn't really. I mean, my pitch is that
Or I can pitch you. I know what
I
you're like to
can
travel.
pitch
You
You
pitch
know
me.
what?
I'm gonna
pitch
We'll
Lily.
pitch Lily. We'll pitch
I'm
each
gonna-
other. That'll be
Okay,
funnier.
I'm gonna pitch Lily.
let's see
Okay.
how bad it is. Okay,
Well, first of all, Lily will research the shit and
I was gonna
find
say,
out.
true.
She is the human trip advisor.
She is a human. It's exactly
I'm
what I'm
already
saying.
emailing you
Human-
my recs for Barcelona, even if
She's
you've already
human
been
trip
there.
advisor. She's probably created a pitch deck
Yeah.
with bullet
I'm
points.
sending it to you now.
And there are so many activities in each day that you don't understand how it's possible to compute how
You
you're
don't have to
getting.
do all of that.
you
I
No,
also
no, no.
don't-
Lily loves the options.
She
But
loves
the thing is this:
options.
she will find the best hotel. She
Yeah.
will find, and not like the most expensive, but like the best one for your environment. But you do
It's
have to
curated.
pay the
I curate.
price. You
I
do have to
curate.
pay the price of Lily wants to experience your decision making.
I want to tell you about.
So
And
there's
she
no
wants
just
to
like,
enjoy
great,
your
Lily, pick
experience.
it. She's like, we got to have a phone call.
It's a
And I wanna
curated
talk about
experience.
Every detail,
it's
and I want to
curated.
weigh everything, and I want to be anxious if you pick one. And I'm like, I don't know, just take the okay.
And then she wants you to like describe in detail to her everything you're experiencing. What do you
I like details.
like? Do you like the bathroom amenities? Tell me about them.
You got to
What do
send her.
how
I
many-
if
brought
you-
you my
want
nice ones
pictures.
from New York the other day.
I want pictures of the breakfast
Lavo.
buffet. Which cheeses did you select?
But she's with you on the vacation. So
Got it.
remember, okay, so that's
Now-
Lily.
because because of her eye for detail, her attention for detail. If anything is amiss,
Oh, you'll get it
on-
for free. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will
Lily-
get you your thing
Lily-
for free.
Lily,
Lily,
You probably
my
won't have to pay
kids-
for a lot. While
my
you're on
kids say
vacation.
that my kids say we love going on vacation for Tia Lily because her superpowers are cursing and getting everything for free.
There you go. That sums up.
So-
That's me as your companion. I curse a
I
lot.
definitely.
I'll get stuff for
We
free.
we went to a very expensive spa.
Are you
once,
a
both of us.
Gemini, Lily?
No, I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay. Because I'm a Gemini, and I'm like, we have that dual personality where it's like you want everything to be perfect, but like you will fucking fight for your way.
Yeah.
I mean, just you watched White Lotus.
Yeah.
Lily was really the first one in pop culture to be like, "Hey guys, he
That's not
ordered the
sweet he
pineapple
asked
suite."
for.
He ordered the pineapple suite.
I was
This
like,
is
I'm
bullshit.
sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, but it's in the email. I was like, I get that
That's
he's being a
amazing.
dick about it, but also that is not what he asked for.
I'll say this
Sorry.
also: Lily will pick amazing beaches, and she will find a way for people to do physical activity who want to do physical activity. But because she doesn't
like
really
that.
do it,
That's the Libra.
there's
I
always
feel
an
like-
option for
Yeah.
people who want to be lazy.
Now
Yeah,
I will
like-
say,
yeah.
having
There's a lot of
gone,
pitching on me. Can we
gone
sort
on
this
many
one out?
vacations with Lily. This is the last thing on many vacations.
We're going on
with
vacation
Lily.
tomorrow.
There's no like off button in that you will literally talk to me until I fall asleep.
Oh, but I love that.
It's
That
the
way
best.
I am your ASMR.
It's the best.
Okay, next, Shy. You pitch
No.
yours.
Let's
Jeez.
pitch.
I
let's
love
pitch
you
Becky.
guys. This is great. I'm like, I hope they adopt me as like their other sibling.
No,
or
you're
something.
already
So
in.
amazing.
If you're on the
already
show,
in
you're
the
in. We don't
Okay, great.
invite people we're not interested in being in the family on the show.
Okay, I love
Okay,
it.
so Becky is all about adventure. So there's going to be physical activity. She goes on skiing vacations. She goes on mountain climbing vacations. She goes biking. She's
camp.
adventurous. She eats all the cooking and inevitably ends up incredibly sick from it. So you're going to go to the ER.
Lily's got like 8 pints of salmonella on vacation.
Yeah.
Lily, if it makes you feel better, I ended up in an ER in Jerusalem on birthright. Okay, that's an accomplishment.
We've all been in the ER in Israel. I had like frontier surgery done on a mole gone wrong in Jerusalem. It's really weird.
But you weren't on birthright because they said, listen, you have 2 options. You can either go home right now and we'll give you a plane ticket, or you can go to the ER. And I was like, I guess the ER. I'm not like dying.
That's funny.
I just tried to I needed to get out of an activity. I didn't feel well.
Oh, that
I did
okay. So
not
just so you know, all 3 of us have that power.
Yeah.
I successfully never went on a hike at camp ever. Even as a counselor, I was like, oh, I think I see rain. It's canceled.
Oh my God, at camp when I was 9, I'd see what the older girls would do. I hated the lake. I was like, I'll do anything to not go in the lake. And so I'd be like, I'm sorry, I can't swim today. I have my period. And they're like, you're 9 or like 8. And I'd be like, she had it too. And they're like, she's 15. Like,
Amazing.
I'd beg.
Prove
I'd be
it.
like, please, I swear.
So
Anyway.
so Becky, so you'll be doing physical activity.
Okay.
Becky will start off wanting to do it in the rustic, Berkeley kind of way. We're gonna van camp across Europe, and we're not gonna use any
Forage for our own
electricity.
food.
She does look
Yeah.
so excited the way you're describing it. She's like, you're getting it.
We're gonna boil your own food. I will buy all the fresh ingredients. She will talk about ASMR. Becky will tell you everything that is in the food that you make. And we have a rule in my house. My kids too are like, Tia, Becky, we don't want to know what's in it. It's amazing. Becky's the most amazing cook. But sometimes you just don't want to know what Arab avocado was used to sweeten it. And but then at the last minute, because of the 3 of us, Becky is the most fancy.
Yeah.
You will
Yeah, for sure.
undoubtedly, she will be like, this happened to you. We're not staying in the van. We're staying in 5-star hotels. And that's like her husband will stay in the van on
Okay.
principle.
I will.
But Becky, like when we
For like a
went,
few nights.
I like to book a backup 5-star.
when we went
So I have a place to
on
do a nice shower.
when we went
I still
on
enjoy it.
Vicky for sure is the fan. That's
a RV trip. We went on an RV trip across Montana. It was a long time ago now. Wow, it was
I
like
was
7 or 8
6
years.
months pregnant.
Okay. But Becky and her husband. So my parents, me, and my 2 children and my wife, we shared one Winnebago, which
Wow.
was wild in itself.
Yeah, that's
with
a
my
lot.
parents. In
Lily,
the same
Lily, her husband and her son, they had a Winnebago. Becky and her husband insisted that they were going to camp and they had to have a tent. So they get and they set up the tent. And Becky realized she's 6 months pregnant and related to us. So every night her husband had to go into Lily's Winnebago and
Take out a
pull out a
mattress.
massive mattress and put it in.
the tent. So
in
she
the
could
tent,
sleep on
so
it.
she
With
could
lots
sleep.
of pillows and a
So-
body pillow.
Yeah. So I feel like,
That
do we get
describes
everything?
Becky perfectly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
but-
Shy, I'm going to do yours.
oh yeah,
It's
please.
very easy. Shy wants to be indoors in air conditioning and have access to high quality Wi-Fi at all times, and prefers to be watching movies or napping while watching
Now,
a movie.
but now I will say, Shy's superpower as a travel companion is that
Becky and I do travel a lot together.
and we travel a ton together. You will never wait more than 10 seconds for your Uber Black to appear. You will be whisked from place to place. That man has like an inside.
With or without you?
You better be waiting. He is an.
You got to be on time. I do like to be on
If
time.
you are not 10 minutes early, you are very late in his opinion. So he is early, he is ready to roll, but you don't have to ever worry about those details. Like The car is ready to go. The arrangements are made.
He also has the best snacks.
He always has
He has great snacks.
tons of snacks.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that way, traveling with him is really easy because you don't have to worry about, oh, how are we getting from point A to point B, and what are we doing this, and how are we going to get our bags? Like, it's just.
I admittedly don't like to do a lot on an actual vacation. I do traveling, which is a little different, which I did with my friends recently, where we did like a death-defying hike every morning, and then I napped for the rest of the day. But I get a little aggravated if there's too many activities on a vacation.
Yeah, Shai's vacation, and preferably that this vacation with perfect internet and air conditioning and all indoors is actually just in his house. That's his house, just watching movies on his
Look, I have traveled the world for work, and I have a completely different attitude on a work trip. On a work trip, it's
You can
nonstop.
try.
I don't think a
Let's just-
single person in my family
To
can
be
keep up with
clear, if you want to go to the correct airport, travel with me. Not
Shai and I have
either-
both gone to the wrong airport.
Wow. Many times.
Okay, so that's
Can't live
that's
that-
it.
can't
No,
live
Lily has done it many times. I've done
It's
it
so
once.
funny because you
Once.
guys have no idea what kind of travel.
No, we don't.
We have no
I know.
idea. We only
So-
know
No, but
from
we think
the-
you're so awesome. We're pitching ourselves to
I
you.
know, I
No,
love
know,
it.
but depending on what you are, how you are as a traveler, you'll
But
be
you
able
know,
to-
hearing
Hold
these
on,
pitches,
let's-
I'm like,
let's-
who's gonna dump me first? You know what I
Let-
mean? Like,
let's-
that's my brain.
Wait, let's add that despite me not wanting to do anything, if there is a concert, however
It's true.
uncomfortable the process of getting the tickets and getting to it,
It's true.
or a
Very
or a record store,
Mhm.
I will find a way.
find
Like I tricked the whole family into going into Fish New Year's in 2009 in Miami. We're on vacation. I was like, guys, I have a great way for us to save money on the New Year's Eve tickets."
surprise. We all had to go out for IHOP at 2:00 in the morning.
I
So
love-
those are the
Really
kind of
fun.
things that you do get with vacation with me.
Okay.
All right, go for it. Anna, take it away.
Well, you guys keep adding details that make me think like, oh, yes, no, you know, like
Oh, also,
I will
I'll eat
say
room service. There's a room service budget in my travel. Like I love room service so much.
he's like, I lost her with the fish concert, but I'll bring her back with the room.
Back with the
service."
Back with the room service. You want a
I'm
club
like-
sandwich? You want a club sandwich delivered on a white tablecloth? Come hang out with me.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't plan all that much. I love how I'm like, I have to explain myself. I don't plan so much. So I feel like I have to buy Lily out of necessity because
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
what ends up
she's so
happening.
good to travel with.
Yeah.
I
Why not
love that.
Marco?
Like I don't want to do so much research. I mean, I'll do research on like restaurants because I love food, but I you know, like my friend the other day was like, "Where are you staying in Amsterdam?" I'm like, "It looked like a nice hotel." She's like, "It's like Times Square of Amsterdam." I'm like, "I'm there for a day." Like I don't whatever. Anyway, so I think I'm gonna buy Lily as my travel companion. Yeah.
That's the right answer.
Mm,
Okay,
I'm sending
good.
your Barcelona Rex.
I can't wait.
Done with this.
I went with my mom like 7 or 8 years ago, and it was a very fun time. But my mom is annoying. I mean, she's the best, but she, you know, she will leave with the concierge. Like she's like on a first name like basis. Like by day 2, she's like, "Jay, like where should I go tonight?" I'm like, "Mom, I can't anymore." She spends half her vacation with the concierge.
I mean,
It's
the
like,
real wild card is our mother on
Our
vacation.
mom. Yeah.
That's the real one.
Can't hold a
It's
candle to that woman.
I'm gonna say it's a toss up between the two of you, but I'm not. I'm not an outdoorsy girl. Okay?
Travel with me.
She's laying Becky.
I will go to any soul
Sure.
cycle, yoga, Pilates. I will do any workout class you have for me. I love activity, but I won't go in the lake and I won't camp. So
There's a lot of that with me.
I'm gonna have to have, but yeah, I don't
You're
know.
renting-
But
Room
I know
service.
vacation with me sounds boring. It's
But if I'm
okay.
like, I don't want to
Sure,
stay
I'll
here,
just
and
go
she's
all
like,
the
don't
time.
worry. If you don't like this tonight, I have a suite at the Four Seasons. And I'm like, okay, she's amazing, actually.
that is
It
definitely
could be a
Becky.
tie between Shai and Becky. That's okay.
It's kind of a tie. You're
Um,
both so different the way you apparently.
Very, very
But we
different.
travel well together.
No,
That-
but yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I won't go to a fish concert. In fact, I won't go to like Coachella. Sounds like a death threat.
No.
to me.
Coachella is
Like,
not
like
okay
any-
for me. That
Yeah.
I wouldn't do.
Okay,
That's
okay.
no. I don't.
Burning
don't-
Man sounds like a
I did
punishment.
I
don't
did
want
a
that.
fish festival in 1998, but like big festivals is not a thing I do because I don't camp.
Okay.
And also the people at Coachella seem oppressive.
My brain went there, but I know you were just saying concerts. It's funny
No,
because
no,
someone the other
for
day
me,
goes, "You're going to Europe this summer and you're not seeing Taylor Swift," and I was like, "Oh, is that the only reason to go?"
Go
Yeah.
to Europe?
No,
Is she still here? Is she
No,
still
but
here?
but
Has
I
she
would
not left yet?
I
Oof, no.
can't
She's
you
going back to
feel it in
London
your
in August.
economy?
Yeah.
I guess she's
No, for me
single-handedly
it's more I'll
lifting.
check the listings of a country and I'll be like, oh, we're in Belgium. Counting Crows are here. Let's go see Counting Crows. That kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Last
Okay.
night I drove an hour to see the guitarist.
No
from
one wants to hear
Jethro
about
Tull
this.
do a
No,
song.
We
hang
just
up.
want to hear
Stop.
about it when you explain
No,
it to
no,
us.
I'm vetoing. No one wants to hear
Stop.
about
Part
this.
part
put
two
that
of
on
the
our
episode, that guitarist. I feel like I don't want to be bad at the game, so I'm gonna say I'll probably say meh to Shy.
It's fine.
It's
I
right.
know
Because
it.
Becky's taking you to the Four Seasons. Shy's
Yeah,
not
Becky's gonna
myself.
like hook it
No,
up if I'm like
like-
I can't camp because I might
Yeah.
say that. I'll have my period. I can't sleep. I can't go outside
But
today.
that's all I would need to hear. You just would be like, I have my period. I'd be like, it's fine. It's fine.
We're going to a spa.
Where's a spa? There's a
Shy will
spa.
be like, "Where is she? The Uber left 10 minutes ago." Can I tell you? I may not go to the wrong airport, but I will miss a flight, and I've missed. I have
My
missed
God.
many flights this year because
You're
I
speaking my language.
I don't like to hang out in the airport. I don't need to fucking go to the airport early to sit in a lounge with mediocre eggs or anything like that.
And the
I
Aperol
like
Spritz
to-
people.
I like to
You
walk
imagine-
right onto the plane. In fact, I like to be the last person to walk onto the plane because I
That's
don't want to wait.
ballsy.
I don't want to wait in that line. Yeah, it's ballsy. But when I was going back and forth between LA and New York, the amount of flights I missed and the amount of tears I have shed in JFK or LAX is like not okay. And even my mom from across, she's like, Anna, don't be late today. You're going to ruin Jared's life. And I'm like, because he's really like, he's very like on time and like good at stuff. And I'm like, we can leave later. It's fine.
Well,
Well,
Don't be
you
so
and
like
Lily
me,
will
or-
have a
I'm
beautifully
Lily.
planned vacation. I'm not sure you're going to make it to it.
Lily was so late on her last flight home from the States. So finally,
Because I went to the wrong airport, not because I was late.
oh no.
so late because you went to the wrong
If
airport.
I went to the wrong
She-
airport, I'd be done for 2
You
days.
might.
And like,
No, I still made it. I
She
still
still
made it.
made it, but she's traveling with her husband and 2 kids and like 12 bags.
Because they
She
had
was
come in
so
for my
late
daughter's bat mitzvah they were in.
That
Oh
she
my
caught
God.
the flight but couldn't check her bags.
So we made the flight, but I had to leave all my bags with Becky. And
So
I was like,
Becky-
"Oh, get these later." I was
Becky,
like, I gotta go.
Just made
I flew home.
oh,
without
see, I
any of my
can't, I
luggage.
won't go without the bag.
Be-
Yeah, I
Becky,
I left the
Becky
bags
then
behind to
shipped the
not miss
bags
the
to our
tour.
parents, who then
Oh my God.
had
Brought
to
my
bring the
luggage
bags
to me.
with them when they went to
Yeah.
visit.
And that was epic. That was the most that was one of the most epic things I've ever done. That was bad. That was not a good look.
Lily also once went to the airport with her son's passport instead of hers.
We look a lot alike.
And your husband once went to the airport with her.
And he went with my other son's passport instead of his own.
I remember when we were kids, we were going on a cruise once from Miami, and my mom forgot all of our passports, and we missed the flight, and because she had to go home to get our passports, and and you had to make the boat, and I remember the only way we could get there was to fly from like Philly to Chicago to like Atlanta to Miami. It was like a whole day of like what to make this boat before it left. Anyway, I was like,
You
Did you make it?
yeah, I think so. I think we
Oh.
went on a cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, I won't
So
do
that
a
was
cruise.
good.
I'll tell you that. That's like,
that's
I will
my-
not go on like a big vomit barge.
Yeah, same.
I'll do
Although
like
I
a-
worked on one last year and I had so much fun. And
Well, you were the
I was-
talent.
I was the talent. I was sort of. I was a talent. Yes. I hosted shows for the New Kids on the Block, but that's like a different.
What?
The actual new kids on the block?
Yeah. And I was like their host. Like they do a game show and they do other, like,
What?
shows.
Wait, hold
cruise
on.
is
We've
this?
talked
Why are
about
we
all
just
these
talking
New
things.
about
Kids
and
on the
you're
Block
just, you're
cruise.
just hanging out with
Wait.
Donnie Wahlberg?
Yeah. Donnie's a machine. That man is the hardest working man in Hollywood. I've never seen anything like it.
Wait, a new
Seems
kids on
like
the
it.
block cruise.
Yeah. So that's
he's-
why I was like, okay, this is fun. Everyone who's there, it's so happy. Everyone who's there is like so amped to be there. Everywhere you go, women are just
They're like all our age, I guess.
they're all smiling. They're all ages, really. There's the new kids, like the moms with their daughters, and then the fans with their daughter. It was insane. I've never seen anything like this, and it was like
But
it was like
As the
camp.
host, you're just hanging out with
I only had to work like 3 days out of the 5 or whatever. And I just like, I got to hang out with all of them. I will say, I didn't know the new kids that well. I'm a Backstreet Boys and Sync girly, so I had to like study.
See,
like,
that's how we know we're older.
No, but on the first day, like, you know, the management team was like showing me photos. They're like, which guy is this? And I'm like, Jordan, Jonathan. Like, I'm like, I studied. I know this. They're like, don't fuck this up. I'm like, I won't, I swear. And they're like, and don't mention that you like the Backstreet Boys. I'm like, okay.
They toured together though, didn't they?
But anyway, I was so nervous. I was like, is my body, I haven't been on a cruise since literally I was 8 years old. I was like, well, I have to work. Like, will my body work? Like, am I going to be nauseous? Am I going to be okay? I was fine.
Where was the like the Caribbean?
Yeah. It like
Okay.
left from Miami and it like,
Okay.
you know, it was like in the islands for like a couple days. It was like 2 days at sea though. And because they were like, we added a day at sea. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Lily and Becky, there are a number of themed cruises. I just want to tell you about a couple of other ones that I know of.
It's crazy.
Oh.
There's Chris Jericho's wrestling cruise. It's like all wrestling matches and whatever, that kind of
I don't
stuff.
think you should wrestle at sea. It just doesn't seem compatible.
Then there's a number of, I think, Grateful Dead.
Are
sort
these
of-
off the top of your head? Or are you
music
reading?
cruise?
me?
Probably. There's
No,
a
no, no.
Backstreet Boys cruise. There's a
And-
Broadway cruise.
The first one I ever heard of though
Jazz
was
cruise, so
Ships and
yeah.
Dip.
Yeah.
Was Ships and Dip, and that was Bare Naked Ladies and Great Big Sea and
sorry.
Mike Evan, our friend Mike Evan.
Right,
was-
You have to end the show.
I
now.
get I'm ending it.
Wait, I
Land
had
the
my
plane,
my
land the
question for
plane.
Anna. I just want to know, like, now you've spent an hour with us. Would you match us up with a Kardashian each,
Oh, yeah. Based on your travel, yeah.
or
I
just our
could.
personalities? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think I could.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Becky's. I'm gonna start with Becky actually, because you read Kylie to me. Like you seem. They said you're the one who gets shit done. She's the
Yeah.
youngest,
Billionaire.
and she's the billionaire. Yeah, I feel like. And you have like different interests, you know, like you love food and 5-star hotels, but also you could like camp out for 2 weeks somehow. I don't know how. I feel like Lily, you're the Kris Jenner of the group, right?
Oh,
That's awesome.
that's
So
very
am
sweet.
I.
Like a momager.
You're a momager. Yeah. You seem,
Very involved in everyone's decisions. That's for sure.
well, also
Nice to know.
they said you were so detail oriented, and I feel like they wouldn't be where they are without Kris knowing every detail of everything, right? Like
That's true. It's fair.
she does a lot of edibles and drinks a lot of martinis now, but because she earned it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Exactly. She can kick back a little
she
bit.
worked
now.
her ass off for the last
Right.
20 years to make them so successful.
True.
Shy, I feel like you're not the Courtney, even though I know you love her. I know you're
But I wouldn't know anyway what you mean by
I
that,
feel
so
like
it's-
you're the Chloe. Of the
Chloe.
group.
He is the Chloe.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that
Yeah.
mean?
He's like the
Is it
most
'cause-
liked. He's the most liked.
Like you were like
Chloe's the most liked.
Chloe's also
Everyone
like
loves Chloe.
they always say in interviews that like if they were on a desert island, who would they be with? And they're like, Chloe would have shit taken care of. And it sounds like you said we don't
Yeah.
have to worry about anything. You have the car, you have the flight, like just
The
show
Wi-Fi.
up.
Types the
He's
Wi-Fi.
got the
He does
Wi-Fi
The
password.
Wi-Fi, yeah. Chloe's the one who they like all is like she's reliable. Like she knows how to make sure we're in a safe space.
I think also she's the most liked, and generally Shy's the most liked. I think people love Shy, so yeah, people love Chloe.
drives them nuts.
And I can't thank you enough.
Thank
for-
you guys. I'm so
for
glad we made this work.
joining
I felt
us.
so bad when she was like the 2 dates. I was like, oh shit, I'm like literally out of town for those 2 dates. But
No,
With
I
the new
really
kids on the
appreciate
block.
You're
no, but I honestly like in 4 days, who would have thought I would go back on the cruise? It was that fun.
That's amazing.
That's amazing to hear. You have a one-woman show, August 15th, Joe's Pub in New York City, Impressionista.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for you for that. I'm not going to be in the US, otherwise I would be there.
Thank you.
That is extremely exciting. And I also want to make sure people know about your podcast, Bigwigs, with
Thanks.
Dr.
Yeah.
Dre and yourself. It's hilarious. And if there's anything else that you want to recommend, pop culture, film, movie, TVs that you want to tell people about, we usually like to end on a recommendation.
Oh, a
our
recommendation.
guest?
I'm going to recommend a project. I'll recommend my boyfriend's project. He had a project come out recently and we were talking about it and it's on my brain, but it's not a happy project. I'll say it's
That's okay.
it's a sad project, but he produced Fallen Idols on Max, which is the documentary about Nick and Aaron Carter.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was very
Yes.
it recently came out. It was like in the top 10 for a little while.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so I say go watch Jared's project.
Definitely.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
We will. We will.
And
Yeah.
it's Backstreet Boys adjacent.
Yeah. Although it's really
I mean-
sad. It's a sad story about a sad family. You guys are like the literally the Partridge Family compared to like that story. But
Well, but
I'll recommend that.
that's cool on Max
It's on
and
Max.
Fallen Idols. All right. Yay, Jared. Good. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'm
the
such a nice girlfriend. I can't wait to tell him I did that.
You did- yeah.
What's Jared's
promoting
last name though,
yourself.
so people can look in the credits?
Jared Hacker.
Hacker.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. That's great.
Um,
Well,
He's easy to find if you go on Anna's Instagram.
Yeah. I was gonna say you can also watch the upcoming TLC show of the Baldwins, which can't wait. Can't wait.
Can't wait. That's,
Yeah.
I when I read about it, I'm just going to say full disclosure. When I read about it, I immediately went to see what you had to say about it. Like, I was like, oh my God, what's Anna saying about it?
I was
Because-
overwhelmed. It felt like my deadline article came out. People,
Right.
the amount of DMs, I was like, they were like, oh
Kidding.
my God, are you going to be on the show? I'm like, on the show? What it has nothing to do with this.
I'm very
For-
excited to see your bits about
Thanks.
this. show.
The pressure's on. Yeah. I guess I have to watch it too then.
yeah.
I don't think you do. I don't even think you have to.
Just do an after show podcast. Just call it an after show podcast.
Here we go.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for
and,
having me.
Can't wait to see what you come up with your travels this summer for your content.
Yeah. I'll see you guys in Spain.
In España.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Lily has an
out.
Airbnb or two that she can lend you. So.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Okay. So we usually end the show saying we love you to each other, but we also love you, Anna.
I love you guys. Thank you.
You
for
don't
having
have
me.
to hang
I
out.
wanna I wanna hang out. I think you guys are amazing and thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. This was awesome. Thank you for listening to Friday Night Movie, the sibling rivalry and pop culture podcast. Join the Friday Night Movie family by following @FryNightMovie on all of the socials and visiting our website, FryNightMovie.com. Our theme song is by What Does It Eat? And make sure to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.